All right, let me just make sure you can hear me sharing. Just be studio on. Stop sharing. Sharing this tab to studio. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Oh, the audio is terrible. All right, so the audio is terrible. All right. Jesus. Let me all right, 2 minutes. Perfect. All right. So let me share this tab. Okay. So we have the hourly closure. That's not nice. Let's start off with the monthly. I don't like this theme. Dark mode. Yes. Perfect. All right. So monthly is credited bottom wick in the first 15 days. And we flipped before, but this is, I think, after a steeper bottom wick on like the lower time frames. And now you can see that. Let me get rid of these grid lines. We can see that we created pretty steep bottom. The steeper the bottom wick is after a closure like this, with no bottom wicks on the last candle, the better it is, because it coming back into the range. This is a range. We can confirm once it leaves that range that it's a fake out. a wick is really a fake out. So now that we have a break back into the all-time highs, this new range, we can see on the weekly now. The weekly, the most important thing we have is a breakout, essentially a breakout above this level here at 15. So you can see that this candle tried to break out, then this did, and finally this did. And that's a confirmation that you're going to go up, but you have to make sure that we have to make sure that this wasn't, break of these lows wasn't an attempt to drive down. And now that we closed respecting this support, that's now, I guess, a support resistance before we can look for buys as this candle comes up. The only thing about this candle is that this weekly didn't have a bottom wick, but it's Friday now, so if it was to flip, I think the Friday will mean that the weekly would mean that now it's going to come bearish. So now there's a high chance then, if it were to flip, high chance that it will to close back below. But I think on the daily we can see that we've created bottom wick, we've created structure, and we are likely not to flip. I mean, yesterday we did flip on the daily. Flip the, not the weekly, or almost actually, because this level is, yeah, pretty much almost flip the weekly actually. And I would assume that that is the bottom wick for you to now rip up to the top of the range, at least, if not continue to break the highs. But today, I think we're most likely going to look for like a fill of the range. Now, I was, before hopping on, looking on to these buys above here, but it was so close to the closure of this 30-minute and hourly candle that I thought I might just wait for that, and that closed without top wick, and no top wick means no range. So the likelihood the next candle like doesn't drive up and continue up is a little lower, so probabilities aren't stacked on our side. But I think still, with this much volume, we're likely to at least tap now. Before doing anything, we had to tap 75. Like, that's the next range. I would wait for buys and up to there. And in terms of news, we have, let's see. So news, we have USD building permits, nothing major at 10:30, which is 8:30 a.m. NY, and consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. Inflation expectations are usually more important, so that's about at 10 a.m., which is 12 p.m. a.m. here. I would rather get a trade early, honestly. I think we could definitely take some buys. We could definitely take some buys to the fill of the range. But we need bottom wicks. We need to wait for bottom wicks. So on the daily, again, we have this structure created. We have a support created. And now this candle perfectly, it's like a bounce off the support and a retest of the highs. So this is looking very good on the daily. And this 4-hour did close above this range. Yeah, we have this range from 75 to this here, and the 4-hour did, but the only thing, it doesn't have a bottom wick. Now, previously, usually it's not the bottom wick I'm concerned about, it's the tap, what price it's tapping first and after. And I want to see a tap on the bottom of the range before it goes to the top of the range. That's ideal. So I would rather a tap at 58, but maybe we can see that on the, like, we've done that once before. And it looks like, yeah, this tapped it, but usually looks like we're about to complete the range. So usually I would rather wait for like a natural bullish closure after a resistance form in the middle of the range at support, a bullish closure to test the top of the range. But I guess we had so much volume that it just kept going. And so we completed the range. It's kind of annoying because that was like what was going to happen most likely. But on the hourly, so on the 4 hourly, we were closing back above. We don't have a bottom wick, but on the hourly, we can see we created a bottom wick to complete this range. And this range now being completed is sort of annoying, as I said. 30-minute is 30-minute did close nicely. I'd say I was before I hopped on looking for these buys at the flip, but I think I saw something that I didn't like. Maybe it was a 15. Yeah, the 15 had, yeah, I didn't like this because the 15 had no bottom wick here, and it came up here. I was like, maybe if we can flip and then reflip, we could, but it never flipped. So the 15 could have given us something, but this was on the 30-minute looks good. On the 30-minute, it looks actually very good. So you have a closure below, above here. Every time you close above here, you it seems to tap here. But last time I'm looking at this is that maybe I can move that up a little bit. That we had a tap into here, so we could have something similar, right? We could have a tap into back in there, depending if today is going to be high volume day. And almost every day has been pretty high volume. I mean, look at Wednesday, Thursday. But we completed the range first. See, this is what I was trying to say is, see how this candle closed above, didn't complete the range fully, then created a bottom wick and then flipped, and actually took these buys before. Well, no, it was actually these sells, not the buys. Buys didn't happen for me, actually. The sells did below to complete the range down. And so that if that had happened here, high here, bottom wick, then a rebreak the highs, that would have been good. But that's okay. The more we look at something like that, the more we can sample size and trade it. But this bottom wick is pretty nice on the 30. On the 15, we can see that it's a little muddy on the 15. I would stick to the 30 this today. Usually I would drop down to lower time frames when we are, high volume times with 5-minute closures that's showing us direction. That's the only time I would really drop down. So now we have completed the range. What's the next step? So we can see, I like to sort of draw mirrors on price. What have we tapped in the past and now, and then what we're going to tap later. So if we have completed this range, let's say the most recent low was here, really. That was the low. I tried to find any similar lows before, so I'd go back and maybe I'd find this, right? I find this low. And I say last time you made that low, you tapped here before coming down. So, and that's could still be tapped. It's not bad. But then I see this same thing. This is about 75, and yeah, we tapped 75. But the reason why today actually I'm more bullish is because yesterday we actually broke these lows. Well, this low yesterday, I wasn't expecting it to break. If it happened, I thought we would drive down further. But this, I think, was liquidity for us to now complete this range that we yesterday could not. Usually when you try to re-break the highs after re-breaking the lows, you would drive. You're going to drive. It's a high probability. But I'm only taking my chances to the top of the range. Something like this also has a good chance of breaking out. But the thing is, I'm hesitant with all-time highs. Price tends to be very volatile, and I don't want to get caught in a bad move. Yeah. All right, so we had this. Now we tap that. We also have this level, and I want to see where that is, and that's right there. Okay. That's a possibility. We create a bottom wick there to drive up further. It's definitely a possibility. But the trade I would rather take, instead of taking wick entries at the bottom wick, is a break of the highs or something, or like a onion play back up. Yeah. I mean, as long as the 4-hour closes above here, we still have, like, if it pulls back, we create a bottom wick, we still have the wick fill to take. But let me just see something else. So this is Friday. When was the last Friday we did something like this? This was Friday. Last Friday, you kind of ranged, grabbed a low. Yeah, you ranged 11, you grab a low. And that Friday, this Friday is similar to this Friday because of the way that we printed this low. We printed it. We printed bottom wick early in the day. Like, this is 11 a.m., but this is 4 p.m., but it's still like early in the day, and then you continue up, right? You continue up. You have range to the left. Yeah, you reject right at that level, first resistance. So I'd imagine you'd reject here, and then you print some kind of liquidity to come back up. What we could also take is potentially, if we like, I usually take something like this on the 15. If we, let's say this candle comes all the way down here, right? Makes a bottom wick for this candle, flips, and then like completes the range. Let's say it does that. Then the rebreak of these lows, down here, we can also target those, the break of those to the next level, right? Because the way I think about it is, once you create liquidity, once you break liquidity, there's two things that are going to happen. You create a steeper wick, more liquidity, or in rare, not rare cases, but like maybe 30% of the time, you'd get you get something like just a little bit of the break of the lows to drive back up. Like this day, this when I took these sells, I think it was based on the 30 though. Instead of 15. Actually, was it? Yeah, this candle doesn't have a wick here, but then these brokers do. Yeah. Yeah, that one's even steeper, but I think I based it off of this broker at the time. I thought that this would be liquidity breaking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candle lows, and this will liquidity for you to drive up. And if you re-break liquidity, you're going to have to grab more liquidity to go back up. In this case, it made sense that this breaking into the range is going to complete the range, and I held for about 25 pips. And it was a pretty strong push as well. It was like a few second trade. This is 18. This candle also has no top wick, and it didn't even close above like this level. But this level is, well, this level was real. This level was proper there at 72. Yeah. There's this level at 78.9. Yeah, that's what we've been rejecting off of to go down. See how we flipped on this candle, on this 15, and then we reflipped, now breaking the lows. Pretty sure that's what happened. Like this break of the lows should bring you down a bit further. But we got 8 to 10 minutes news, so we'll see what happens then. Maybe if news comes out and taps 68, then we could look for buys above. So that's the reflip again.
Every day.
Oh, this doesn't work either. I kind of don't like when we're at like a resistance or a support every time we come back, like a start of a session. I'd rather be in the middle of the range. Just recapping today. I was expecting a fake out on these candles here. And I took buys earlier, break these highs, and got I think I got 10 pips when this candle came back and reworked the lows. So, and I wasn't expecting a bottom wick like this, but it means that we have more liquidity to go up, and that's good. See, something like this, after this candle closes that way, I would really expect this candle to drive and fill the range, but we instead come back and grab a lower low, a lower high on high time frame, but a lower low. on this sort of, I'm probably in the 5-minute structure. Still low high on the 5-minute. So you can see this sort of trend. And something similar is printing now. So it's not bad if we close above this range on the 5. It's not bad when that's also 30 closure. So let's pay attention to the 30. 30 closes above here. We have this range from 72 to 75. Let me see if there's any more. You seem to get bottom wicks here to drive up off of this wick. I see this drive 71.4, and this is the high, I imagine. Maybe I can raise this a little bit. Yeah, it should be good. I'll put it there still. Oh, look at that bottom wick perfectly there. It's not bad. We break that bottom wick. I'm not expecting us to come up anytime soon in this session. What's above here? How many pips? It's such a small range on the break of these highs. Such a small range. You could take it on the 5 highs here, but then your stop loss here, 30 pips. Let's see. So this is news. If we can create a bottom wick, bottom wick. Yeah, this should drive now. I was hoping for a steeper bottom wick. Yeah, maybe there. Something like that would be ideal. Yeah. Something like that. But let's see. Sometimes we tend to grab more and more bottom wicks on the 5. So if we close like this, next 5 comes down, breaks the bottom, breaks the lows, closes doji, and the next candle creates another bottom wick, closes slightly bullish. Then when you get structured like that, you can actually take the rebreak of the highs after a few bottom wicks have been printed. I'll show you an example. It's like when you're on a bullish move, sort of like this, where you create a bottom wick. Eventually, once you break a certain high, you're gonna drive. But this is definitely volume. Here's what we can also definitely take. When you re-break these highs, re-break these lows, sorry, and then you re-break the highs, you're gone. It looks like you're gone without us anyways. Let's see with what was I gonna check? That's a really good bottom wick on the 5. There might be potential trades here actually. If we flip, and the stop loss will be the 5 lows. I'm just trying to see something. And the 5. Just trying to see if you have range though. Yeah, you see, you actually just tapped what we were looking to tap, and I don't know, because you got no range left now. This was literally the whole range, actually. It's difficult to take the trade now, very difficult, because you could say that this is a bit more range, but then even if we take that with the spreads and everything, you're likely to get destroyed. Yeah, we'll just wait. When you don't know what to do, you should wait all the time. All right, so live post is cool. Oh, we're coming close to the flip of the 15, and this is 10:45 as well. So the last 15 of the 4-hour likely to pull back. If it doesn't, 4-hour will close likely without a top wick, which is bad. But the one thing that is good, well, if it breaks the highs and leaves a wick, then that's the only way you're gonna not have a top wick. It has to break the highs, obviously, but it's kind of difficult now, actually. The last 15 is tough. I just realized I've been using the wrong chart to explain things. Jesus Christ. Okay. This on the hourly. How do I? 15 closed here. Closed bearish. The 5-minute has some sort of indication. If it re-breaks the lows, it can drive down. Next news is in 40 minutes. All right, there's the lows. Should drive down now. Wow. 7 minutes until NYSE open. Usually the time I get tired. It's 11:30 in Oz. All right, so you have NYSE open. No volume so far. Don't tell me I was mute the whole time, motherfucker. Can't believe I was mute the whole time. Oh, yeah. Alrighty. It's a good onion play by here, actually, on the 15. But I'm just afraid that you're gonna like. not a bad 5. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna have a buy right here. And where's my trade lines? Sell stop is stop loss is on my previous 1 minute low. And that's also the 5 low. And I'm actually gonna go break even right now at 10 pips. And I'm gonna wait for this break of the highs. If we can break that high, that would be great. I just took a buy here. Right. I'm close full right here. So I took a buy here. Where is it? Right here. Stop loss was this candle. And TP closed out right there. Roughly 1 to 2. 1 to 1. What did I get in total there? I got 15 pips in total. Not bad. But this is, maybe it would have been good to hold a partial, because now you're re-breaking all-time highs. Usually when I see that, usually when you see that, you see a break for at least a couple more pips, at least 10, 15 pips, or you get a break of the highs, all-time highs, for like a pip or 2, and then you come right back down, and that's like the move of the day. I see that often. That's why I was a little aggressive on the closure, but it's just that my phone was playing up, so I didn't have my MT5 open to close half on my phone. That's why. Otherwise, that would have been a good buy. Good trade. Yeah, like this break of the highs, 10 pips, then it's right back down. This could happen the same thing here. In that case, I wouldn't mind sells below the here, but to explain the trade, it's really based on, well, first it's actually based on the hourly, It tapped a previous level of a previous level all-time highs, right? If it was here, this would have been less. It would have been more risky to take because now you didn't have a range fill on the other side first. You could still have that afterwards, and you could still be in the trade. So when you had sort of a range fill, then you have the other range fill, and that's why we took the trade to take advantage of the other range fill. This 30-minute didn't look good, but the 15 sort of made up for that. And the reason why it did was because the 15 had its low beyond this candle, right? What I like about this low is that, like, let's say this 15-minute candle had its low like this. So let's say it's a terrible candle. Oh, my mouse. Let's say this is the bearish candle, and then this, and the steep, because a bit steeper, and this is the bullish candle, right? This is a little harder to take on the break of these highs targeting here, because you could still grab liquidity and come up. But when you have this sort of move, that confirms that you might not come down for this. So, and the next thing is this wick here. This was a perfect wick actually when it comes to the body of the first candle. It's not necessarily that it comes to the body of the candle. It's just that it's a steep wick. It's a steep wick even on this 30 that I was looking at previously. Here. And look what happened once you broke the highs. It drives, right? And look what's happening now. On the 5-minute, this was, I'd say, more of a 5-minute to 1-minute trade, because I saw the 5-minute here come down. Once this candle closed, after actually breaking the previous 5 low, I noticed, okay, there's a potential to come up. But the only reason I took the trade was because when this 5 closed, this 5 actually came down. It's just the 15 low. It came down and made a pretty steep low for this bottom wick, and also tapping into this, not tapping into it quite exactly, but still enough of a bottom wick. And then the way it closed is even more perfect, because it actually broke the highs here and didn't drive, but it still closed bullish. So there was a potential that this could break this high, and that's why I didn't take the first break of the highs, that it could break this high and then break the lows, because it does that sometimes when it has to grab liquidity. So then I saw this candle open up on the 1-minute, an even better candle, where it literally came down all the way to the previous low and then broke the high. And that's where the previous 5 high re-break of the previous high was, where I took the trade right here, long position. And on the reason why my stops weren't here, and instead were here, because the 1-minute showed a potential of liquidity to go up. That's why, because with liquidity on the 1-minute, you have a higher chance now, saying that the break of the lows will drive you down, and if you break the highs, it will drive you up, because the break of the lows is going to fill the range and attempt to come back to the lows of the 15. So your break of the highs confirms after a bottom wick that we're ready to go up. So this is 1-minute, sort of 1-minute type liquidity for you to retest the top of the range. I was really expecting this to drive on this candle, but the next 5 did. Well, not the next 5, but this is the next 5. And what I also did was, when this candle tapped into this area, I put my stops to break even. And then this candle low, I was worried I was going to be tapped out on this candle, because I knew that this candle might make another bottom wick, which it did, and then drive up. But there was a chance that it could be at my entry, could even beat regular lows. So I did move my stop loss after going break even a little lower than here. It would have been like maybe like 4-5 pips loss if that broke, but it didn't. And once it flipped, I moved my stop loss back here, and then I had my TP roughly here. I closed at the opening of this candle, because I got confused because I was looking at the 1 minute. I thought it was like the 15 open with no bottom wick, or the 5, and I closed immediately. But still a roughly good 1-to-1 trade, not bad at all, and could have held, but with my stops, I think it's a good trade with the 1-to-1. Yeah, so that was a trade really. Good trade. We still have news. So that was a W on stream. All right, so first stream, first W. Nice, feels good. Feels good. Let me just fill out my journal. This was at 9:36. New York gold bullish, very bullish buy. This was a onion play on the 15. It was an entry on the previous, actually the current. Stop loss was 20 pips. TP was also, TP I had about 15 pips. PE point was the next logical. This was a range fill, the 15-minute. Smaller size potential smaller stops. No, stops were pretty good at 17 pips. Profits pips was 15. I think it was 15. Yeah. Drawdown was 0. Who doesn't like a drawdown? Love a drawdown. 0 drawdown trade. Profit 75 pips. No, 15 pips. 15. So this was from so far this trade is 100 pips plus. Re-break the current highs. Trade was based on what was it on? There was a bit of on the 1 minute. There was I'm not taken. And yes, it worked out. Alright, cool. You have the hourly about to close in 5 minutes, and that's also news. So did this tap? Oh wow, tap 1500 exactly. That's pretty good. Okay, so all the all right. Boom, 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 boom. All right, first stream. Gonna end it here. We took a W first stream.